Hello, 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 beautiful people. Super excited to be back with you and to take the opportunity to close out this amazing series of the top things to unlearn for a thriving career. This is been such an interesting discussion. So many people have been able to jump in the comments or DM. We've had quite a few folks join us live and ask questions. So I think that it's been rich. I've certainly learned a lot in navigating this with you. So I'm looking forward to closing it out and starting something new with you. I have a couple of big announcements. I'm going to get those out of the way. But first, I'm going to start by introducing myself. My name is Leah Murphy. I am the CEO of Career Gems for the Journey, and we help professionals build thriving careers. That's what we do. So the content that we continually put out is based on this amazing body of work that my team and I have been able to create. And it incorporates coaching and real world expertise that my team and I have, as well as lived experiences from our clients. So lots of case studies, lots of research. My time in corporate America produced really interesting concepts for me to now share with you. And that's why we're here. So the top things to unlearn, I thought was so important because there are certain concepts where we're building things on top of one another. And that's cool, right? To add, right? And to have folks be able to learn. But what I wanted to do is make sure that we understood what we needed to unlearn, what we needed to change our perspective on, or to adopt some new thinking. And this is an opportunity to really challenge ourselves about where we need to spend some more energy in our own mindset in that work. So really excited for that. You guys see I have the mic here. We're jamming on that. And I want to make sure that we get to these last two areas where we wanted to focus on unlearning before we can build our thriving careers. And these ones are hot takes. I like to start off smooth, comfortable, right? And then really help to stretch you over the time that we're in this series. So of course the closers are going to be fire. So excited for anyone who is interested in learning more. We have guides that are available on our website at gemsforthejourney.org. Career tools, they are really thoughtful and impactful guides that we've used directly in coaching our clients, and now we've made them available to those who are listening to us. So I want to make sure you take advantage of those resources and go to gemsforthejourney.org to get additional career resources as you're looking to put the right formula together for yourself. And there's also opportunities to be able to work with us directly on the website. So now let's get into the hot takes. I'm going to try to keep this one shorter. Last week, it got so juicy, the comments and the questions and the feedback that were coming in before we started, as well as during. There is just always this great engagement that I'm thrilled about for the Career for the Journey's content. And it really does validate for me that folks, they're hungering for substantive career information that's real, that's honest, that's thoughtful, but also is proven, right? It's going to get them the results that they're looking for. And that's what we're here for at Career Gems for the Journey. So I'm going to get into the ninth thing that we need to make sure we think about as we're identifying the top things to unlearn to build a thriving career. And last week we closed out with perfection being the objective. I know that there were some recovering perfectionists that were listening to the content, and I myself am a recovering perfectionist. So I understand that some of the things that we may have been conditioned or thought through, you got to unlearn some of that, because in order to really be able to collaborate and work with a team, you got to be able to do the things to a point and then let others contribute. So thinking about focusing on perfection will hold you back from being able to excel in your career. And then the last one that we closed out with was my manager should have known ... And that was me kicking off the hot takes for you guys. Because kicking off that as a hot take, it's a comment that I hear all the time. My manager should have known, and why do I have to tell them? And how did this happen? They should have known better, or they should have been able to position me well. We got to own some of this, right? We have to take the power of controlling our narrative and doing the work to make sure that our manager is informed in the language and intention that we want them to be informed in, not to make any assumptions. So we closed on that. If you were not able to listen to that content yet, please do take your time, go back and take advantage to review that. It was rich. So now we're closing out with two that are pretty controversial. And I know that it's going to get me some interesting communication in the background. I'm going to get some emails, I'm going to get some DMs, and I'm here for it. It's really important that we have a dialogue and that we're giving folks things to think about. And it may not fit for you perfectly, right? Chew the fish, spit out the bones. If it's not perfectly applicable to your life, that's okay. That may change in a season, but I want to make sure that we're being thoughtful and giving you something to chew on. So, hot take, top things to unlearn for a thriving career. Careers are linear. We have to unlearn careers are not linear. We have to unlearn that assumption that we start in one function in one department and then progressively every 2 to 3 years, we're going to get promoted and then eventually we'll be the vice president of said function. In a perfect world scenario where there's no life that's happening and priorities never change, maybe, right? But we all know that the world is ever evolving. And I personally am adjusting the way that I navigate in the world because my priorities have also changed, right? The things that are most important to me have also changed. And the organizations that I've supported and I've worked for, their priorities continue to change. So as priorities change, so will the career dynamic for you. So maybe you thought you were going to get promoted in 2 years and maybe it took 4. Maybe you thought you were going to get promoted in 2 years and it took 9 months. These things change, right? It's ever evolving, but this idea that it's going to be linear and there's some defined timeline that already exists. And if you just stay on the timeline, there's no need to be concerned. It just doesn't happen that way. Any HR professional will tell you that if you ask them, right? And we've done content before on making HR your partner, which you should definitely go and listen, because once you have a good relationship with your HR partner, you can understand that these things are constantly moving parts. And then you can still strategically position yourself to optimize and do your best work so that you're considered for these amazing opportunities. But it's not going to be a linear thing where the timeline is defined and each promotion happens and you continue to get promoted one rung of the ladder at a time. It just doesn't happen. On the positive side, sometimes I've heard folks get promoted 2 levels, skip a level, right? If you were committed to it being linear, you would miss that kind of opportunity. That's a big stretch assignment. That's a big growth opportunity. I've also heard folks say I've been in this organization for a period of time. I'm not getting promoted. I'm not getting acknowledged. And then we need to make a different decision. Staying in the organization, hoping that the linear perception that maybe have been created, kind of like, fairy tales style, it's not coming. It's not coming. Not in this economy, not in this job market, not in corporate America, not in nonprofit leadership, or even in academia. So we have to unlearn that careers are going to be linear. The other part that's really important there is lateral moves are important for your growth. Taking a lateral move where you move across a function, maybe you move from marketing into sales, maybe you move from supply chain into quality, maybe you move from finance into audit, right? These are all things that could be opportunities for you to grow your career. And let me just sit here for a second and tell you why. Because I think people think of lateral moves as like, oh, well, they don't want me to get promoted. That could be part of it. I'm not going to tell you that that's not true. They could not want you to get promoted, but we'll address that separately. But to take the opportunity to have a lateral move to broaden your perspective, right? To understand how the work that you did in your core function, maybe your home function, impacts the broader organization, makes you a better leader. It makes you more thoughtful. It makes you more intuitive into how processes work. And it also makes you get a better understanding of, when you're not carrying your own weight, when you haven't carried your own weight or your team hasn't, what's the impact in that other function? And then as you ascend to become a leader of broader teams, now you have some perspective of what that broader team may have done because you left your core home function, right? So lateral moves are necessary in order for you to grow. They can feel very uncomfortable because you're outside of your depth, but they are really critical for you to make sure that you have more bases covered as a broad capability leader, as opposed to thinking that you're just going to stay in one organization and move vertically. Those instances are very far and few in between in my experience. So taking an opportunity to have lateral moves that broaden your perspective and make you more well-rounded, make you more thoughtful and strategic, give you an opportunity to really test, theories or concepts that you developed in your home function outside of your home function, really does give you some critical thinking and skills that you would not get if you stayed in the same homogenous environment. And I mean homogenous is working with the exact same people, doing the exact same thing, staying in the exact same organization. That's not going to make you a dynamic and well-rounded leader oftentimes. So we have to unlearn that careers are linear. Now, here is the hottest of hot takes. I'm going to pause for a second because it's even hot on my tongue to share. So here it is. Sticking it out and hoping things will get better. We have to unlearn it. Ooh, we have to unlearn sticking it out and hoping things will get better. Let me break it down because I'm sure there are people like, what are you talking about? I want to be consistent. I want to be loyal to my organization. I want to stay the course and I want to weather the storm. There's benefits on the other side of that. There can be, right? So let me explain my perspective when I say that we have to unlearn sticking it out and hoping things get better. Number one, I want to make sure that everyone under the sound of my voice, right? Everyone who is engaging with this content understands that it's important for you to focus on your overall well-being. If you are in an environment or in an organization that is not allowing you to focus on your well-being, your mental health, your physical health is struggling, or you're having a hard time, and your organization is adding to that burden or that potential burnout, sticking it out and hoping it gets better is very, very unlikely. I want you to make sure that you focus on your own well-being first. You have to make yourself your number one priority, and then everything else falls into place. For me personally, my relationship with God is my first priority, then my relationship with myself, then my relationship with my partner, my family, then work. Right? So that's my personal ranking system. But I just want to make sure that as we think about organizations are going through a tremendous amount of change, there are cuts, there are layoffs, there are restructuring, there are acquisitions, there are mergers, there are things that are happening. If it feels like there are things that are not in your best interest that are happening in that organization and your well-being may be at risk or suffering, it's time to consider other options. It's time to think about doing what's best for yourself. And that doesn't mean you leave the organization only. Maybe you leave that team. Maybe you shift and focus somewhere else. Maybe you prioritize, taking a step back potentially, because your priorities have to be yours. And when your priorities and the organization priorities match, you're on the same page and you can continue. But if you feel like things are not working the way they need to work, you feel like your management isn't setting a vision that you can get aligned to, or you don't see yourself in that organization, potentially you don't feel valued, it's time to consider other options. It's time to be considerate constantly of what other options are a better fit for you. So I really want to encourage you to think about staying in your organization, whatever organization that is, staying as long as the relationship feels mutually beneficial. And you all may have heard me talk about this several times before. I sincerely believe that the working relationship between the employer and the employee should be a mutually beneficial relationship. And I've seen it done well. I've also seen it not done well. So it's only for you to evaluate as the employee. Mutually beneficial normally looks like you're in an organization that feels like the culture is healthy or the culture is comfortable for you. The culture is something that you don't feel stifled in. The culture is continuing to grow. You feel like you're continuing to grow. And that may not mean that you're getting promoted every year. It means that you're learning. It means that you're getting to build relationships with new people. It's getting to mean that you're, getting mentorship and guidance. All of these things are components that are really important. It means that you're doing work that is challenging, that's important, right? Doing work that someone actually cares about, that's not going to just kind of get chucked in a bin somewhere. All of these things are how your organization demonstrates to you that this is going to be a mutually beneficial relationship. Now, you know me. We've talked, for those who have been, with me and following me for a little while, You also need to make sure that you're getting paid appropriately, right? That you're getting paid fair market value and that your payment and compensation is commensurate with the work that you're doing, also lands and aligns with the market, and also aligns with where you aspire to be. Now, if it's not mutually beneficial, you're not getting these things that I talked about, it doesn't have the components of growth, development, doing work that's thoughtful, you feel valued, you're not compensated, we have to consider other options. We have to think about having a conversation internally, if that's your desire, or we have to think about what would it look like if I decided to make a different choice. You always have options. Always, 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 always have options. It's just a matter of, do you perceive them as options? And are you prepared to exercise those options for yourself? I find a lot of us don't seek out good counsel when we're in these opportunities where we feel a little stuck. We're in an organization, we don't feel like we're growing, we're not getting to partner or do work that is impactful, that feels like it's valuable, and we feel stuck and we stay stuck. And that stuck feeling begins to affect our well-being. It begins to affect our mental health. And that's not where we want to go, right? We're not doing that. Okay. So I want to make sure you're being thoughtful of, do I feel valued in this organization? Is this a place where I can continue to grow, be safe, be well thought of, continue to expand my horizons? And if not, then considering your options to leave that organization is completely healthy. It's normal and it's within your rights, right? The mutually beneficial relationship is really critical, because I also have an expectation of you to be a strong performer, right? To do well in your organization, to make sure that you're clear on your objectives and you're delivering against your objectives and you're adding value. If you're listening to this, I believe that's who you are. I believe that's the work that you're doing. So I'm going to make that assumption for you. I'm going to give you that benefit of the doubt, right? But you have to make sure the organization is doing their part and it feels reciprocated. And I know a lot of people have given feedback around being micromanaged, or a lot of people have given feedback about, the organization doesn't give you the feedback that you're looking for. So you're having a hard time figuring out if there's a place for you in that organization. Seek out good counsel, right? I definitely want to hear from you, right? Come see us at Career Gems for the Journey. You and I can talk directly, or seek out a mentor or sponsor advisor in the organization or in your personal life to help you to think through, is this organization still a good fit for me? The fact that it was a fit for you at one point does not mean that it'll continue to be a fit for you for your entire career. Because we talked about it in number 9, careers aren't linear. Your needs change. So as your needs change, you have the opportunity to make a different decision. And we all know for a fact that when the company's needs change and their expectations change, that they're going to do what's in their best interest, right? They're going to take action. So I want to make sure you understand you have those same rights to go and to make sure that you take action. So this has been such an intense evaluation process, because I feel folks have come back to me to say, well, how do I make sure that other people that I am in connection with or that I'm in community with see it the same way of the guidance you're giving? And sometimes when we're in an organization and we've been there for a long time and we haven't seen what else is out there in the organization, we can get tunnel vision, right? And there are things that we have to unlearn in order for our career to thrive and to grow. And in our unlearning is where we're able to replace that information with new information that will really allow us to take on a new perspective. And that's where the growth happens. And you always have options, right? If you have to take your talents to South Beach and join another organization, that's okay. If you decide to stay and get good advice in your organization, that's okay. It's all okay, right? I want you to make sure that you're taking good care of yourself. And I want your career to be a component of your life. And I want your career to add abundance, to add richness, to add good energy to your life. Nothing is perfect. It never will be. Right? And we're not going to be in any organization that's perfect, because organizations are just made up of humans, and there are amazing humans and not so amazing humans everywhere. But doing this kind of critical thinking of, how do I unlearn How do I think about myself as an entity that brings value to the organization? And I want to seek out that mutually beneficial relationship so that I can grow, so that I can be successful, so that my career can thrive, and so that I can explore another organization who may value me more, right? These are options we should consider, right? We should consider these options because we should consider the idea of, if I stay and do nothing, what happens? And if I do this, what happens? A lot of us are burdened by fear of, rocking the boat, or maybe being a bit of a disruptor. And I understand, because corporate America is a unique environment that you have to learn how to navigate. And we're giving you these tools, we're giving you these gems so that you can navigate corporate America and you can advance your career. And it also applies to nonprofit leadership. It also applies to academia. You do what you need to do in order for your career to thrive, and the rest will fall in place when you have the thought process of what I need to unlearn, what I need to leave to the side, and then what I'm looking for to grow and learn. So really exciting. I'm really excited about this series. It's been hilarious. It's been hilarious because there's so much that is that's conditioned, right? There's so much that organizations kind of condition us to believe. And I actually used to say it early in my career. I grew up in a particular type of corporate culture. And really it is, right? Like my early professional years were in a very specific, particular type of culture. And that culture had a huge impact on the way I saw the world, on the way I saw the value of the work that I did. And as I began to build in new information and take in new data from different sources and build new relationships, sponsors, mentors, right? People that I value their perspective for, there were some things that I had to unlearn. I had to replace that because that's what it took to survive in that culture. When I moved cultures, or when I aspired to more, there were some things that I had to unlearn, and there were some things that I needed to replace in order to thrive and grow my career. And that's what I'm giving to you all. So I want to share something with you all today as I close out. This has been super, super, super exciting. My team and I have been working tirelessly behind the scenes to share something brand new with you all. And what you will see here is that we have created a free mini course, a free, amazing, amazing mini course. When I tell you guys that this is chock full of value, it's chock full of substantive gems, strategies, language, tools. I mean, it really does the thing. I'm super proud of it, and I want to be able to share it with you. So what you'll see here is I am going to put a communication for us to be able to connect with one another. If you go to gemsforthejourney.org, there is a short list course page, and we want to make sure that we get this free course out to you. So you can take the opportunity right now to go to gemsforthejourney.org so that you can get access to the free course. And the free course really talks about the richness of, are you tired of being overlooked for that promotion? If you're tired of being overlooked, or you're looking to grow your career in a significant way, this mini course will help you get on the short list to promotion. And if that's what you want, I want to partner with you in that. And if you're looking to do something different, unique, pivot, shift in your career, I also want to partner with you for that. But the mini course is really exciting. It is something that is going to bring a tremendous amount of value. There's audio impact there. There's also written documents for you to use and continue the learning, right? Learn with our hands through writing what our priorities are and what our needs are, and how we can strategize to go get that in our career. So thrilled to offer this mini course to you. Please do take the time to go over to gemsforthejourney.org so that you can get access to this mini course that is 100% free. And we're doing this because we committed early in the year. We said that there was going to be some new exciting things in March, and here we are. New exciting things that are happening in March, and 2023 will continue to bring in new high quality content that is abundant and that is just designed based on our experience. So this content is something that you're going to benefit from. I believe you'll get a tremendous amount of value, and I'm thrilled to introduce it to you today. So please do take advantage of going to gemsforthejourney.org and get on the list so that you can get this free mini course directly into your inbox. It has been amazing being with you today. I just realized that I just sucked my teeth. That's what happens when I'm excited. I can't even hold it back. It was amazing to be with you today. I also want to let you know I am going on vacation. I am taking a break. I am enjoying a nice long break. So I'll be gone for 2 weeks. I will be away for 2 entire weeks. And I will be back here on LinkedIn Live beginning April 18th. So we will be off for 2 weeks. Normally we're here every Tuesday at 10:30 a.m. We will be back April 18th at 10:30 a.m. with a brand new series. But we're going to take these 2 weeks to relax, to rest, to recharge, and to enjoy some time with my children while they're on spring break and do some things as a family. So that's what I'm doing. That's how I'm recharging. That's how I'm focused on my well-being. And I want to make sure that you do the same. So I look forward to being back here with you on April 18th on LinkedIn Live at 10:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I will see you there. In the meantime, jump into this mini course. Over the 2 weeks while I'm away, you can take full advantage of getting a running start on the mini course. And I would love to hear your feedback once we're back here together. So it's been amazing, and I look forward to hearing from you soon.